But just when you think you have things figured out, nature loves to throw a curveball. And that curveball is called Euglena. So, is it a plant? Is it an animal? The answer is yes. It's a bit of both, and it's this fascinating little organism that completely blurs the lines.
So Euglena basically has a biological superpower. It's what scientists call a mixotroph. What that means is, when the sun's out, it just chills and photosynthesizes like a plant. But if it's dark, no problem. It can actually absorb nutrients from its surroundings, just like an animal would. Plus, it doesn't have a rigid cell wall, so it can squish and change its shape. And it's even got this little red eye spot that helps it find light so it can swim towards its next meal. Talk about versatile.
All right, leaving the wild world of algae behind for a moment. We're about to meet an organism that is, and I'm not exaggerating here, a true certified game changer for the entire history of life on Earth.
Now, at first glance, you might think, hey, that looks a lot like that Spirogyra we saw before. And yeah, it kind of does. But trust me, this is something fundamentally different. What you're looking at here is cyanobacteria.
That is a huge statement, right? The source material calls it the most important organism on our planet. I mean, wow. So what on earth could make this tiny little bacterium that indispensable?
It all comes down to one incredible process: nitrogen fixation. Okay, so think about this. The air we breathe is almost 80% nitrogen. But for most life, plants and animals included, it's completely useless in that form. We can't use it. But cyanobacteria, they can. They're the magicians that can grab that useless nitrogen right out of the air and turn it into stuff life can use, like ammonia and nitrates. They are literally creating fertilizer out of thin air.
So how do they pull off this magic trick? Well, they have these specialized cells called heterocysts. Think of them as tiny nitrogen-grabbing factories. Step 1, they pull nitrogen from the air. Step 2, inside the factory, they convert it into a usable form. And Step 3, they release this amazing natural fertilizer, which then goes on to nourish entire ecosystems. Seriously, without this process, life as we know it would just stop.
Okay, so we've met the creators, the algae, and the fertilizers, the cyanobacteria. Now it's time to head up onto dry land and meet the great decomposers and recyclers of our world, the kingdom of fungi.
So I have to ask, are fungi just weird plants? I mean, it's a common thought, right? You see them growing out of the ground, they don't exactly get up and walk around. They've got to be some kind of plant, right?
Nope, absolutely not. And the difference between them is about as fundamental as it gets. See, plants are autotrophs, remember? They produce their own food. Fungi, on the other hand, are heterotrophs. They have to get their food from other sources, which makes them the planet's master decomposers. Okay,